Shellen, thank you for volunteering. Where would you prefer to stand? Here, I'll help you out, man. Y'all give it up for Shellen. Hold that microphone close, Shellen.
Oh, okay. I'm a little nervous. I written my notes, but they're in my wallet in the van, so yay. Well, I could start off with, I grew up in a Christian home. I moved around. We moved down the south, and we just went from place to place, and I made some friends, and we just went from there. Then we moved here. I tried everything I could not to move back to Florida, but that didn't work. Mom, Dad. But I started listening to people when I moved here. I started listening to the lies that people were telling me. But then I didn't want to hear the truth anymore. I made some friends in high school. Still friends with some of them today, like maybe 2. But things just started going from there. And then I learned what alcohol was at the age of 19. I thought it was the neatest thing ever to drink. Found out it wasn't. Then life moved on. I got to the point in my life where I lost my family. I pushed them away. I listened to my ex-husband, and I listened to some people that I had no business to have in my life, period. I even got to the point where I lost some friends, and I was about to lose my daughters. I lost everything, just about there. I had God put people in my life for reasons at the time I didn't know, and I didn't want to listen. I just wanted to keep listening to the lies. Kind of like when my husband and I were getting a divorce, I was very big, and I listened to this guy, and it stuck with me. The pastor and a few other people knows about it. He told me I was pretty and smart, but I was too fat to have somebody in my life. I started drinking heavy. Things just didn't go the way I wanted to go. And I just allowed people to step in my life and take over my life where it shouldn't have been. But then things just kept going and going and going. And I had some good jobs, and I lost it because of my depression, or I listened to the guy that I was dating at the time, or I listened to my ex-husband because he wanted to do whatever he wanted to do to control my life. And I just kept listening to him, and I shouldn't have. But I thought I was doing the right thing because I wanted to keep my kids. But I allowed him to destroy me. And then I came to this church. Well, actually, take that back. I met Pastor and his wife, and he invited me to church. I'm like, yeah, I come to church. For a long time, I didn't come. And then one day I did, and I'm glad I did. And I'm glad that God is restoring my life back to me the way he sees fit, not the way I want to. He's restoring my family, my mom, my dad, my daughters. They're finally starting to talk to me. And what really brought to light was in August. I was not feeling well, and I was constantly sick. I wound up in the hospital for 4 days. They couldn't find out. I was throwing up blood, and they couldn't find out nowhere. They tried everything they possibly can to find out where I was throwing up blood from. And I was being hard-headed. I didn't want to go back to the hospital because I thought it was just the soda I drank. And everybody that knows, I thought it was the funniest thing. But I laid in that hospital bed and I asked God, and I did cry. I said, God, I cannot do this no more. I cannot. Please help me understand where I need to be in my life and help me heal what needs to be healed. And this is a tough one. And Pastor probably will write this one down in the book for me. Let me listen to who I need to listen to get to where I need to be at in my life. That means no more drinking, no more dating guys that I have no business dating, having the friends in my life that needs to be there instead of the ones that I choose. I don't need none of that anymore. I am 41 years old. I've lived a life that I had no business living. I should have listened to my parents back in the day. They're already here in church, guys. That's why I'm doing that. And there's other people in this church I should listen to, but I didn't want to listen. But you know what? God's got me here for other reasons. I've been going to this church about 6 years, maybe, a little more. And I do love my church, and I love everybody in this church that goes here. I love the ladies. They help me out a lot. Sometimes I don't want to listen, and that's Mama Treva, Mom, Miss Janet, Miss Michelle, Miss Vera. Sometimes I don't want to listen, but sometimes you got to.
Man.
So all I can say is this, guys and ladies. If you don't want to listen, then don't step. I'm sorry, I like to cook. Don't step in the kitchen. If you don't want to listen, just keep going until you get to where you want to get back into that kitchen and you want to cook a perfect meal for God. Don't do it, because you know what? That's just wasting your time, the person's time, and the next person's time. Even if you want to date or find you a men, don't do it. And that dessert might be perfect, but I promise you it might be made with salt instead of sugar. So that's all I can say about that.
Amen. Thank you, Shellen.